Hi, and welcome to our first podcast of Connect with VP Hecht. I'm Dr. Amy Hecht, the Vice President for Student Affairs at Florida State University, and this podcast is aimed at educating students and others on the incredible things happening at Florida State University. Today's episode is going to be about getting involved on campus. How do our students get involved at FSU? We're going to talk about everything from Fraternity and Sorority Life to our RSOs to club sports. So stay tuned and learn how to get involved at FSU.
Hi, my name is Freddy Juarez, and I am the Director of Fraternity and Sorority Life here at Florida State University. So here at Fraternity and Sorority Life, we call it FSL. FSL, we have 4 governing councils. The way I like to explain our governing councils, think of them like umbrella groups for different fraternities or sororities depending on the council. So we have our Interfraternity Council, and these are our oldest long-standing fraternities here on campus. Some are housed and have facilities, some are not, and they participate in something called IFC Rush. For our Pan-Atlantic organizations, we have 17 recognized, also some of the oldest organizations on campus. They are sororities and exclusively affiliated with the National Pan-Atlantic Conference, and they are all housed on campus. So when you see those chapter facilities, that is referencing Pan-Atlantic. We also have our Multicultural Greek Council. These are our culturally based fraternities and sororities. We have organizations that are not exclusive to those cultures, so you don't have to be part of those cultures to join, just an appreciation and understanding of those things. And so these are Latino, Latina, Latinx, identifying organizations, Asian American student organizations, and also just multicultural organizations. Then we also have our National Pan-Atlantic Council, not to be confused with the other one, which is the Pan-Atlantic Association, so MPHC. These are our Divine Nine groups, and so we have our historically black organizations here on campus in the fraternities and sororities as well. So we have different ways to get involved and different ways for you to join. If you're interested in joining IFC, IFC Rush would be the avenue to join, and if you go to fsl.fsu.edu, you can register for Spring Rush, and that is going to give you an opportunity to join an organization, be able to participate in that process. It is very similar to the fall process. There's virtually no difference between the fall and the spring process for our IFC organizations. For more information, FSU IFC was probably the best way for you to kind of get caught up on what that looks like. For our Pan-Atlantic organizations, if you're interested in that process, it's something called spring recruitment, and it is continuous open bidding. It's called COB. The process is way more informal than our fall process. So if you've been intimidated by the fall formal recruitment process, you will find the COB process a little bit better because it is a little bit more casual and informal. Now, with that casual and informal, only about half of the organizations are typically eligible and participating in COB. And that changes from semester to semester, so we would not be able to tell you exactly which ones. The best way for you to do that and for you to find out who is participating would be going to floridastateph.com, and that will give you all the information you need about that process. So there is a registration process, but like I said, it's a little bit more informal, so it'll require you to be reaching out to organizations through Instagram or some of their open events. For our MGC and MPAC groups, that also is a little different. It's something called intake. And so if you're interested in that, the best thing to do is to actually go to our website, fsl.fsu.edu, and look for MGC and MPAC orientation information. That is typically held once a semester, and it is a requirement for you to join any of these organizations. Now, intake works a little different. It changes depending on who is interested in participating or experiencing intake. So some organizations will be open for intake and some will not. And so the best thing for you to do is go into MGC and MPAC orientation to find out who is and be able to get that information as best as possible for you. So joining a fraternity and sorority is a big commitment. We kind of liken it to a 3-credit class, right? And so if you're thinking about how much time commitment am I looking at, you're looking at about the same time commitment as that 3-credit class. Now, who may be eligible for this or who's the best person for this? It could be anyone. See, fraternity and sororities are focused on creating scholarship and academic opportunities for you, community service and philanthropy, leadership development and training, and then also, of course, the brotherhood and sisterhood aspect. Now, you can get these things at individual organizations. We have so many different organizations here on campus, and getting involved in any of them is excellent. What I think fraternities and sororities do something special, and that extra piece is that joining a fraternity sorority, you'll get all of them in one place. So it's kind of like a one-stop shop that will then give you a gateway to other opportunities to get involved on campus. And so we find that mentorship opportunity is something that is helpful. So if you're feeling a little overwhelmed about all the different opportunities to join something, fraternities and sororities and joining one gives you an opportunity to kind of get your feet wet in the door, and then they get you connected to other places in campus and pockets and finding more of your fit here at Florida State. Just consider that when you're thinking about who to join or what to join or which one. All of our organizations provide something unique and excellent, and they're all some of the best in the country. So picking whichever one for you is more about picking whoever you fit with, not so much what you may see or what you may think about based on social media. So a lot of people think that joining a fraternity sorority is exactly what you see either in the movies or on Instagram. And the interesting part is that some of the best moments of fraternity and sorority cannot be captured in an Instagram reel. And those are the moments that nobody ever gets to see, and the things that actually our students talk about and highlight back when they're reflecting on graduation. We just have a slew of students that are ready to graduate, and some of their favorite moments are moments where they're having a really tough day, their brother or sister notices, and they bring them a cup of Starbucks while they're studying at Strozier, and it turns around their whole day. And then my biggest piece of advice besides that is to just be yourself. And that's pretty corny and pretty stereotypical for what people will tell you, but truly be yourself. If you are changing who you are to join this organization, then you're not joining the organization in the right way. And you may find that later on down the line, that's not a good fit for you. And so if you're yourself right off the bat, people are going to be more likely to be able to understand who you are and allow you to join in on all the fun. Sororities, we actually just saw one recently that she just got married, and her maid of honor was a sorority member that she met at her executive board. Like, these million moments of joy, you can't be captured necessarily on social media, and they're not these things that you traditionally think about when you think of fraternity and sorority. So when you think about the power of fraternity and sorority, it's the power of connecting groups of people together for a common cause. And that's what you can expect. Those are the things that we can't articulate, and you may not go into it expecting that, but that's what really, when you think about it, when you reflect on that experience, that's what every alum member that comes back and talks about their experience highlights, is the people they met. And that's the gift of joining a fraternity and sorority at Florida State. It's the people that you're surrounded by that help you to become better and build you up to be a better student here at Florida State, and someone that is going to create a long-lasting impact in this world.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Stormy McGivern. I serve as the Program Director for the Office of Student Organizations and Involvement with the Department of Student Engagement here at Florida State.
And I'm Amanda Fronczak. I'm a second-year student studying marketing at Florida State.
Amanda and I are here today to talk about involvement, ways to get involved, how you can get involved here at FSU, and just some really exciting opportunities on campus. So, Amanda, can you talk to us a little bit about what your involvement has looked like here at FSU?
So I'm actually originally from Portland, Oregon, so very much out-of-state student. My brother went to FSU, and we're very similar, and so he's always been super involved. We were both super involved in high school, and he got super involved at FSU. That's one of the reasons that I also came here, is just because the amount of opportunities he had, and just really the experience he had at FSU was so positive, and so I knew I wanted to get super involved as soon as I came here. I went through sorority recruitment, which was amazing, and I got involved with the Freshman Leadership Institute, which kind of opened a lot of doorways through more student involvements, like student government involvements, but also philanthropic efforts like Dance Marathon. So a little bit of everything. I kind of just got my foot in the door and then kind of went from there. So yeah.
That's amazing. What are you currently involved with?
Okay, so currently I work for the FSU Division of Student Affairs in the Marketing Communications Department, which is the office we're in right now. I'm a member of Alpha Chi Omega. I'm a Student Alumni Association ambassador. I am the VP Public Relations Chair for class councils, sophomore class councils, and I'm also the Director of Chapter Relations for the American Marketing Association. So a little bit of everything, I guess.
A little bit of everything, a lot of different positions that you're holding right now, too. That's awesome. What has been your favorite involvement?
Oh, I would say That's a really good question. I would say class councils. We were the first freshman class councils last year, which was really exciting just because, it's fun to kind of see us all evolve from planning our first events. And a lot of the same people have kind of stuck around for sophomore class councils. And we've done involvement fair. We've done late night at the Leach. And we kind of actually helped extend the Leach hours because we had an event from 9 to 11 p.m. and now they're open a little bit later this year, which is cool. So we kind of showed that there was a need for that. So it's just really cool to be involved. Also over the summer, I was a senator, which was a really cool opportunity for the FSU Student Senate. A little bit of I guess a side quest in a sense, but not something that I'm a marketing major, so it wasn't necessarily political science or anything I was super closely related to, but it was just a really cool experience. So I feel it's cool to be involved and cool to try new things and kind of make positive change on campus.
That's fantastic. So you mentioned the Involvement Fair.
Yes.
The Involvement Fair is an event that we have every semester during the first week of classes, and it displays some of our more than 650 student organizations on campus.
What would you see talking with students? What do you think some benefits of being involved are?
Well, I think there's a ton of benefits to being involved. So number one, when you're new to campus, involvement really helps you to create a network of support on campus. So it helps you to find some friends who have common interests or maybe just want to do some similar style events, or really you talked a little bit about your work with SGA and being able to advocate for different student needs. And so finding like-minded individuals who have similar goals to you. Another benefit of it, you mentioned American Marketing Association and that you're a marketing major. And so involvement as far as aligning with your major and your post-FSU, post-graduation career plans is really phenomenal. So it can help with that resume booster. And then sometimes it's just fun. It really is an opportunity to be able to explore different parts of campus, explore different parts of Tallahassee. Our Center for Leadership and Service provides a lot of involvement opportunities in the greater Tallahassee community and helps you to familiarize yourself not just with FSU's campus, but the city of Tallahassee as well.
I completely agree. No, I feel being involved gives you so many cool opportunities, and like you said, even just getting out in the community and working with Dance Marathon, they go to the high school marathons, and so we went to the Leon High School County one, and it was just so cool to see that. They look up to you so much, and it's cool to just see that your efforts are kind of going elsewhere and that you are impacting high schoolers and people that you just would never think that you would necessarily cross paths with in Tallahassee.
Absolutely. So you mentioned Dance Marathon. Mm-hmm. Dance Marathon as well as Relay for Life at FSU are two of our largest philanthropic programs, and they are both ranked top 5 nationally for their respective philanthropies. So for Dance Marathon, that's Children's Miracle Network, and for Relay for Life, that's the American Cancer Society. And beyond just the high school, you're really making impacts to the greater Tallahassee area as well as at a national level. So Dance Marathon, they raise over $1 million every single school year, and that money goes back not just to Shands Children's Hospital in Gainesville, but also to the College of Medicine here at FSU for the community outreach programs. So Amanda, as a seasoned student leader on campus, what are some things that maybe you wish you knew before you got involved?
For sure. I would say it's never too late to get started. I feel sometimes it can be intimidating to join a new organization. You feel, oh, they're already established, I'm going to be kind of the odd one out or not feel comfortable, but just know that it gets easier. I feel the first meeting might always be a little bit more intimidating, a little more scary. So what I've done is I've asked one of my friends, okay, even if she's not a marketing major, the American Marketing Association, I was can you come to the meeting with me and just break the ice? Because when you're with someone that you feel comfortable with, it's easier to kind of talk to people around you, or you're okay, I can do this. And then, like I said, just making yourself, holding yourself accountable and saying, okay, I know this is going to be beneficial for me. I know it might be scary, but it's important to show up and get involved. I think also being involved adds a little bit more structure to your schedule. I know that you think, oh, maybe I don't have time to, but sometimes it honestly, it helps you get more done in a sense, because if say you have a meeting at 6 and you're okay, well, I have 2 hours before my meeting and then I have 2 hours after to get all my homework done or whatever. And then you'll be more on top of it and you'll be okay, I got it, got to get it done and kind of structure your day versus if you just give yourself, okay, I have 6 hours to do my homework, it might take you 6 hours versus if you only have 3, then, you'll get it done quicker and you'll be more on top of it, I guess. So
Yeah, a little bit more efficient
for
with
sure,
your
for
schedule
sure.
and your time.
For
Absolutely.
sure, 100%.
And I know that we've mentioned that there's 650 student organizations. I think it's important to break down kind of what types of organizations are included in that list of 650. So we mentioned academic and leadership honor societies. We have groups that are based in service and leadership. We have our sport clubs, which you're going to hear a lot more about, as well as fraternity and sorority life. We have special interest groups. So if there's a specific hobby that you're interested in, whether that is thrift club or plants or skateboarding, we've got something for everyone. If we don't have an organization that currently interests you, you can also create your own student organization. And all you need is that 5 of your closest friends, so 6 students to start a student organization, and then meeting with the staff in the student organization and involvement office to really help develop out what that plan for a new student organization can look like.
I know it can seem daunting and there's so many different student organizations. So how would you recommend students find out about other organizations, or just kind of like, I guess, break it down for us a little bit?
Sure. So I mentioned the involvement fair, and that's definitely a great way to get involved each semester. But if you miss the involvement fair, it's not the only way to get involved. So we host a website called Nole Central here at FSU, and it works as a search database for all of our student organizations. So you can type in any organization name or any keyword and be able to find a group that is going to have that as part of their involvement. So I like to use basketball as an example. If I were to type in the word basketball into Nole Central, it's going to pull up our club basketball team that is operated under campus recreation, or it's also going to pull up any organization that says they play pickup basketball maybe on Thursday nights on the West Side Court. So maybe it's a leadership and service group that also happens to play a game of pickup basketball occasionally. You can find anything that you're interested in getting involved with through Nole Central, and that's going to show you all of our current active registered student organizations with the university. Another opportunity happens weekly, and that's Market Wednesday. So Market Wednesday is a really cool event that's unique to FSU. It happens from 11 to 2 on Legacy Walk. We have more than 100 groups out every single week, tabling, promoting events, recruiting new members. We also have a variety of local vendors who are selling goods, jewelry, maybe some vintage FSU merch that are also on Legacy Walk. And then from 12 to 1, Fraternity and Sorority Life hosts Sound Hour. And so you can meet with many of our different chapters, learn more about what it means to get involved with FSL, and what that journey can look like for you.
Well, I love it. Thank you for telling us all about those amazing ways to get involved and kind of make an impact on campus.
Absolutely. I think the most important thing to remember is that your involvement doesn't have to look the same every semester. So you've mentioned that you had some different involvements over the summer versus the fall. There's some things that you've been a member of since you started here at FSU, and some things that you've joined along the way. And that involvement can look different each semester or each year. Your involvement can change as your interests and hobbies change. And that's really important to remember. One thing that I always recommend to students is really to be selective about what you want to be involved with. Being overly involved can really detract from your academics, where we see that some level of involvement really helps to promote your academic success and help you to graduate from FSU.
For sure. No, I completely agree. I feel like it's not fair to the other people in the organization, and not fair to like the community members that you're impacting, administration, all that, when you're too involved, because then you just, you can't do it all. You're only human. And it's also important that, you're studying and you're working on your future, but also being involved and, spending time for yourself and all that. So I completely agree. And I think that's a really important thing to remember. And especially like when you're coming in and you're, starting to get involved and stuff, if something becomes too much, I feel like everyone understands that like that is going to happen and that is okay, and sometimes it's completely okay to take a step back and prioritize like the things that you really are passionate about, because that's really important for your mental well-being and just you as a person, for sure.
Absolutely. And if you have any questions about getting involved or want to learn more, please feel free to stop by our office on the 3rd floor of the Student Union, Suite 3201.
My name is Jennifer Fasano. I'm the Sport Clubs Coordinator here at Florida State University, and I oversee the 44 sport clubs that we currently have. We have tons of sport clubs that range in level of competition. They can be just recreational fun, they can be instructional, or they can be competitive to the point of you're trying to go win nationals. We have multiple diverse different sports. We have clubs like badminton all the way to quad ball and rugby and ultimate frisbee and multiple in between. We have a lot of questions about what's the difference between us and intramurals. And intramurals is a fun way to go recreate with your friends without really that full level of competition or anything required to be like a full teammate to somebody. You can be a free agent in intramurals. You can join whatever specific sport you want to join. But with sport clubs, you go and you join a team, you join a family, and you join a community. When talking about sport clubs' level of commitment, there are some more clubs that are laid back because their goals are to teach or to just recreate, where there's other clubs whose goals are to make it all the way. We want to go to playoffs. We want to win nationals. We want to win regionals. Whatever that goal is can change the level of commitment that club may require from somebody. So there may be 2 practices a week that they expect you to go to. There may be 5+ where they go, you got to show up. We're trying to go win nationals. We want you to qualify, things like that. Each sport club is different just depending on their sport and what pathway they have. Joining any sport club has multiple benefits, and there's multiple reasons why you might personally want to join. But the fact of the matter is you're gonna find a family, a community of shared goals, visions, things like that. At minimum, you're going to exercise a little. And we know exercise is great for your mental health as well as your physical well-being. And it gives you something to do that's not just academic focus. Although there's studies out there that academically you also might just do better. You also will most likely stay and retain yourself here at FSU, where you're going to be committed to not only this school, but your teammates and the vision that you all have together. You meet a bunch of friends that are willing to not only hang out, but maybe study together, let alone go compete on the field or court or wherever with you to go win something. And that just creates a different level of bonding. A lot of sport clubs also travel, so outside of practice and home events, you'll travel away to go compete against other schools in the state or in the region or nationally. And those trips also bring a lot of bonding opportunities between students. On top of that, sport clubs helps you kind of gain a lot of leadership skills. There's an opportunity to be an officer for a sport club, and those help you just gain a lot of skills that make your resume more comprehensive. You're a little bit more well-rounded student, and you'll have the opportunity to actually work on these skills of being a leader. Currently, right now, if you would like to join, it'll be up back on our campus recreation website where you can join and register for your club. And I always highly suggest this, is go find your club or a sport that you're interested in on their social media. If you don't know what we have to offer, check out our website, see all the 44 clubs that we have, go find their Instagrams and follow them, see when they're practicing or when they're doing tryouts, things of that nature. We also have all of them on Nole Central, so you can always type in something you might be interested in just to see if they exist and what they do. Our office, the sport club's office, also is always willing and open to answer any emails or phone calls you all have, which you can find our contact information on the website as well. But we actually recently did a survey with over 380 of our students answering, and 25% of them never played the sport that they're playing right now. They found it here, they found their community, they learned about the sport, and every club that we have here is not only competing at this level for these sports, but they're also teaching you to compete at those sports. So if you've never played soccer before or rugby or anything like ice hockey, we have a space for you and they're going to teach you how to play that sport and you can come on out. We have recruitment nights in the beginning of spring and fall. Fall is usually our largest one, but spring does pretty well. And we like to hang out in Landis so that all of those who are in dorms or anything like that can come by and find us. And then we get all of our contact information out from there.
We're going to close out our episode with the segment called Ask Amy. This is the part of the podcast where I answer frequently asked questions from you, our students and parents. So let's get into it. The question today is, Dear Amy, hi, I'm a senior in high school and I've been accepted at FSU, but I've also received acceptance letters at 2 other universities in Florida and I can't decide where to go. All of my friends decided to go to schools out of state, so I feel a little lost. Why should I choose FSU? That is a great question. There are so many reasons to choose Florida State, but first and foremost, we are a family. And for our students that come here, they come here because we believe in them, and we're going to invest in you as one of our students to help accomplish whatever it is you dream of doing. We have students in leadership roles in SGA, service through Dance Marathon and Relay for Life. We have incredible housing, activities, faculty, research. Florida State is a place that is going to invest in you and make you into who you want to be. It really is a family, and I think all of our students feel a part of FSU. Even though we're 45,000 students, it really does feel like home, and our students do feel a part of the bigger Seminole community. So that is why I would choose Florida State University. But that is it for our episode today. Let's stay connected and go Noles.